Hello everyone and welcome to the second episode of the instant demo inspired hardcore Ironman. And to kick this off, I wanted to talk a little about the caves that are found within the bounds of the area I'm playing in. And there are 6 of them. The first one is the Sour Hog Cave, and I actually cannot access this one because I can't complete a portion of interest, so that is no longer interesting for us. The second one is Drainer Sewers, and the only thing useful there is zombies close to a bank, and zombies can drop fishing bait, which I'll be using for training fishing at River Lam in Rambridge. Then there's the Ham Hideout, and the only useful thing there is pickpocketing Ham members for easy clues. And then we move on to slightly more interesting caves. There's the Lambridge Caves, which have a lot of monsters, a lot of interesting monsters. They'll have slight Slayer requirements, but if I kill cave crawlers, I can get bronze boots and a bunch of Herblore supplies. Cave slimes drop iron boots, which will be an upgrade to the bronze ones. And rock slugs give Mystic Gloves Light and a Dwarven Stout, which I believe is the only way to obtain that smithing boosting item in the area. Also, if I ever manage to hit 35 Slayer, I can kill Wall Beasts, which drop a Mystic Hat Light, which would be the best in slot magic hat for me, I'm pretty sure. And then there is the big one, the Varrock Sewers. Varrock Sewers have the red spider egg spawns for Herblore if I ever need those. There's also Moss Giants, which are a great way to train combat at higher levels. They drop a lot of interesting stuff, and most importantly Mossy Keys, which will give me access to Bryophyta. It's one of the 2 bosses in the area, and it drops rune items, runite bars, and Bryophyta's essence, which will be used with a battle staff to create the staff that saves nature runes. And with 51 agility, I will get access to Edgeville dungeon, the most important dungeon in the entire area, and that gives me access to the wilderness, and with it I can kill chaos druids for Herblore supplies if I feel a little ballsy on my hardcore, and also get a looting bag, which for sure will be useful when killing those. Also, in the Edgeville dungeon there are hill giants, which are a fantastic way to train combat and prayer for the medium levels, and they also drop giant keys which give access to Obor. Obor is the second boss we can fight, and he also drops rune items as well as the Hill Giant Club, which I'm for now pretty sure will be the best two-handed weapon I can access. And also, in the Edgeville dungeon we can find Vanakka, who sells Slayer equipment, which we will need for all of our Lambridge Caves adventures, and he might give us a lucky task or two to get a little bit of Slayer XP. I counted out all the tasks we can get at combat 40, which is the minimum combat we can access him, and he gives a total of 7 tasks. This is actually me from the future speaking. He gives out 9 tasks, not 7, and this increases as we level up our Slayer, so yeah, just know that every time I mention this I am wrong. But we will be talking about Slayer in one of the future episodes, so I think this is as good of an intro as we can get, and let's roll with the video. The plan for now is to start training agility to be able to use that pipe to go into the Edgeville dungeon, and I can't train agility until I'm level 10, which means lamping and using books on the skill, so I decided to just do some miscellaneous training, and we got 15 woodcutting, which means I can switch to oaks. And I'm gonna try to find and learn how I can get started on farming, because I think now is the best time to plant some potatoes. If you ever need any farming equipment, but it just so happens that the shop that sells it is not in your area of play, you can talk with any farmer near a patch, and then they can sell you some of their equipment. A plant cure, a compost, rake, plant pot, watering can, trowel, and a seed dibber. So I'm gonna buy all that I need here and then pick up one of the spade spawns, and I'm ready to go. After raking a lot, I got to 2 farming, which is pretty cool because now I can plant my Marigold and it protects all the early allotments if it survives, so I wouldn't have to worry about using the watering can or compost. The closest water source is pretty far away, so I think it's here. So yeah, definitely glad that I will save those water charges. I was researching my area on the wiki, and it seems like there might be a way to train agility until 10 without using lamps, and it's by hopping stepping stones in Lumbridge Swamp Cave. I need a light source for this, and the only light source I can access is the most risky one, which is the candle. There are 2 places in the caves where gas can be found, and if my candle, if I go there with a candle lit, the gas will explode and hit me for 12, which is pretty risky, since I have just 16 HP. But I should be able to navigate to the stepping stones without ever going into the gas area, so I need to be extorted by this candle seller for 1000 gold. And I forgot a rope. You know what? I'm actually not going there yet. There are wall beasts there that hit for 18, and I do not want to risk it. So we will be training our combat until like 20 HP, I think, would be a safe margin. So to summarize, there are a couple of things I need to do before I can safely start training agility. The first one is getting at least 20 HP so I can safely pass through wall beasts. And the second one is getting some anti-poison. Now, there are a lot of monsters that are found in the Lumbridge Swamp Caves that are aggressive and they poison you. So my way of obtaining anti-poison will be getting my Herblore level up to 5, and then I can make anti-poisons. Although, of course, it's not that easy, because one of the ingredients is the ground unicorn horn. There are unicorns within my area, but there is no way for me to obtain a pestle and mortar. So what I'm gonna do is kill cave bugs. They are level 6 and they require 7 Slayer to kill, which I will get by completing the natural history quiz. And then they drop a lot of herbs and herblore secondaries, including Eyes of Newt, which will be helpful in getting level 5, and the already ground unicorn horns, which will be fantastic for anti-poisons. If they didn't exist in this area, I would have to rely on just cleaning my Guams until 5 and then hoping for a Jekyll random event with a clean Marentil, but thankfully that's not the case. Also, I would like to get 1000 more gold and buy a second candle. I think if you fail the obstacle, only 1 candle gets extinguished and not all of them. I might be mistaken, but if only 1 of them gets extinguished, that would be very useful because I wouldn't go dark and risky every time I fail the stepping stone. I just did the beekeeper random and we get some flax, which is fantastic because there is no real good way, easy way to train crafting here, so that will be some pretty good XP. And also I think that's the only way to obtain bowstrings in the area, and we will want to create a better bow than the ones that are sold. Level 20 HP, and also we got 20 defense. As always, Runelight makes the natural history quiz a cakewalk, and here's free 9 Hunter and Slayer. On topic of Hunter, I think this will now be the skill we are lamping. Of course, using lamps on other skills would help me boost them, like Herblore or Smithing. These two will be very, very hard, I predict. But I don't think there is any way to train Hunter in here, so that will be what we are lamping. Alright, so we have ventured to the Lumbridge Swamp Caves for the first time, and I've marked this tile. Here's a hole in the wall, and if we just run past it from tile to tile, we shouldn't get aggroed by the wall beast, so I will not get hit by some ridiculous damage. And if we stay in this closest room over here, we can kill those 2 cave bugs They have a max hit of 1, so this should be pretty easy. And what I want from them is herbs, secondaries, but also they drop candles, which will be useful, and a 1 out of 128 drop of an empty candle lantern, which will prevent the gas from exploding, which will make exploring these caves a little bit safer. Sadly, with a candle lantern, they still get extinguished if I fail the stepping stones, but, well, what can you do? I actually have a test tomorrow, so I had to take a little break and study. So during studying, I was AFKing some woodcutting. We got to level 50 woodcutting over here. I also did some fletching and sold some of the bows, and we got a 20k car stack, so that is definitely the most I ever had on this account, and now it's back to the cave. We got the candle lantern, so now we no longer have to be scared of the gas. I decided to go ahead and camp the imp spawn in Lambridge to complete the imp catcher quest. The Amulet of Accuracy will be a big upgrade. It gives +4 to every attack style, and since an amulet mold requires construction, that is a very, very far away goal. So you will be seeing this orange amulet for a pretty long time. 30 attack achieved, so it's time to buy a weapon that will stay with me until Obor. Finally got enough Guam herbs to get to level 5 Herblore just by identifying them, and by identifying I mean cleaning. This is just RuneScape Classic lingo stuck in my head. I got some Eye of Newt drops, so this could have been a lot faster, but I want to be very macro efficient as I can, so every Eye of Newt will be saved for Irits. That means probably collecting Guams has no use, but I have one trick up my sleeve that I need to test out with them, so I decided to bank them. And we just hit 5, so let me grab 2 Marantils, 2 Unicorn Horns, and 2 Vials of Water. And let's make our first anti-poison potions so we can start training agility, which is what we've been working for this entire video. And this is what I've been working on. Let's test it out. Let's jump across the stepping stone. We have to relight our candles, but we just got 1 experience point for the failure. See you in about 1,000 tries. I gotta say, the grind was a lot easier than I expected, even though the XP rates were pretty terrible. If I had to guess, I would say that it's about 25% success rate, and most of the time I was just failing, as you can see, for 1 XP. But the best surprise was that it didn't require me to bring any food, just to relight my lantern constantly. So it wasn't very hard, but we are about to slowly finish level 10 agility, and that will allow me to train agility at a proper course, at Drainer course, and then move on to Varrock 1, and at 51, I believe, I will be able to unlock the Edgeville dungeon. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you for watching. It really means a lot. I gotta say, I made this series because I needed something to do on the side, because I am runecrafting on my main UIM and then I'm woodcutting on my free-to-play UIM. So I wanted something to do on the side, and I knew a new series would... there would be a lot to do, but I didn't anticipate just how much I would enjoy playing this account. So if you enjoyed, I really, really hope to see you in the next one, and have a wonderful day, and bye-bye.